It's all fucked up. You just know.
Been there 15 years too long, built with substandard materials. Yeah, we got you, buddy.
The snowplow comes through the wrong direction. That thing's going over. You know, like, no, Luebke Senior Drill Instructor, not this cycle. Sorry.
Not going to do that.
Same shit, different day.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we want them. Yeah, we all hate them, buddy. We all hate them, buddy. Yeah.
We all have worst.
Welcome, everybody, one more time to the I Shower After Work podcast for all things trades and trades related. I'm here in the job trailer one more time with John. How are you, sir?
Fantastic, man. How are you doing?
Not too bad. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody, we got something new today. A remodeling contractor, United States Marine Corps member, lifelong. One of my oldest friends and somebody we're real looking forward to talking to. Our very first guest. Give it up for Doug.
Wow.
Luebke. Doug, welcome to the podcast, buddy.
Fantastic.
We're happy to have you here, man, as our first guest. We're very excited about this. And it's your first podcast you've ever been on?
My first podcast,
Podcast. All right, well, here we go. That's great. We wanted to get not only guests to come on, but people that could give a different perspective than just the two electricians that talk every week. Although for the dozen of people listening, well, they obviously keep listening.
The 2 dozen.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping it's a dozen most of the time. That's good. Anything beyond
we need
that
a baseline. Jesus.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Well, that's it. That's where we're at, man. Like we say, podcast apprentices. But we're happy to have you, Doug. Give us a little quick background on how you got into being a remodeling contractor, buddy.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you guys for having me.
I'm glad you're here, man.
Awesome afternoon. I retired from the Marine Corps in 2001, and part of the reason I came here as my last Marine Corps gig was I had family here and I could start a business. You know, just fences and decks, something easy. And so I dabbled in it a little bit prior to that. When I was in Oregon, my boss built houses, so he came in and he's like, "Hey, help me do this, pick up trash, frame this, do that." So I learned a lot from them and watching people. But so anyways, when I retired from the Marine Corps, I was like, okay, got a couple of gigs around my brother's house, because that's where I was staying. I did a small addition, and I was just learning as it go, man. I was like fly by night. And this is like, the internet's barely has all that information out there like it does now. You can look up anything you want.
Yeah, so much easier these days.
You
We talk about it all the time.
right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Put electricians out of business. Anybody could.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
Less than 3 minutes in. That's a fucking record. That record's going to stand for a while. Good for you, buddy. Keep going, Doug.
No. So, yeah, I mean, it's something that I love to do because of the job satisfaction. And obviously I've been doing it for, almost 25 years now. So I've learned a lot, man. Just self-taught, usually work on my own house. I'm like, oh, how do you do tile? Boom, try and do it. Oh, that does not look good.
a lot of what we do in construction in any different trade is going to be trial and error as you learn. Like, that's what learning's about.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
Making mistakes. You're going to fuck something up.
A lot. Right. So that's good. No.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I love the job satisfaction and working with people. My clients, I'm really fortunate that the clients that I tend to get are just so flexible, so welcoming, into their home. And sometimes I just finished a job that I was in their house for a year or 14 months from the time we dug concrete or dug the foundation in December 2022. I was there, just finished up today, did the punch list today, and out.
Oh, that was just today. Wow. What a coincidence.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Now, and something to point out, I know you, Doug, so I've got inside information here we shouldn't just pass over. That's not the only job you're working on.
No, I told him today, I'm like, I just want to get you guys done because I'm working 3 jobs
you
right
got other
now.
shit going. Yeah, and I want to bring that up. Yeah, you weren't just working this one site.
No. And, the majority of the time I'm by myself, and I like it, because I know how to do things by myself. Sometimes it gets a little squirrely where you got to have help. But
well, it was something we wanted to ask you about, actually. What do you do when you need another hand, man? Because most of the time I understand you're working on your own.
Well, the relationship I have with the homeowners, a lot of times they want sweat equity.
Okay.
So I'm like, hey, this house that we were just talking about, the addition, he helped me put all the windows in. I said,
that's fantastic.
This is how you do it, right? How you
Nice.
prep the window frame and all that, everything. And man, we knocked out, there's probably 20 windows in that house.
And I think that's important for homeowners to understand in a position that you're in, doing remodeling contracting. You actually make yourself more money having that sweat equity in. And do you have any other clients though that are just like hands off, just like, no, I don't want to touch this goddamn thing?
Oh yeah. I mean, I get all ranges of clients. I mean, unfortunate to say, the more money clients have, the less apt they are to put their, hands in the pile.
Right.
So
where do your clients come from? Is a lot of the business for you coming in from word of mouth?
Well, so my first few years, I stumble along, getting odds and ends jobs from my family or whatever. In 2008, when the market collapsed, I bailed. I gotta go. My brother was working in Iraq, and he got me a job in Iraq. And so, anyways, long story short on that, I worked in Iraq and Afghanistan and Kuwait for 3.5 years
As a contractor.
Well, it was a contractor, but it was for more technical stuff that can't really discuss too much about.
Yeah,
But,
I get it.
so, anyways, it's
Doug wasn't like a private in the Marine Corps,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah,
No.
yeah. We got you, brother. We got
Well,
you.
there was because I have a coworker that went over as a contractor to rebuild certain aspects.
Yep.
So that's what I was wondering.
The guys that lived behind me at the airport, at the international airport, were electricians.
Mhm.
We'd do steaks with them every weekend, and they were just like, they were hired by like Halliburton or some shit like that. But
Sure.
it's so anyways, came back, and before that, I'm gonna back up just once.
Yeah.
Before
please
that,
take your time. We got all the time in the world.
I had three or four workers, carpenters. Dominic, I had Nick.
Dom,
I know
shout out to Dom.
I know
shout out to
Dominic.
Dom, yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, it was pretty big, and we were doing some pretty big. I was way in over my head. I'll let you know that. Right
You have to get there sometimes in order to learn, right? You got to
God.
push your
Yeah,
limits.
we all get there, right?
Yeah, we all get there. Yeah.
yeah. When you got a set of blueprints that's 40 pages, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
thought.
what the
I should've-
They think I know what I'm doing. Okay, all right. That's a hard realization
Wow,
in
yeah.
any trade.
Yeah, it is.
That's a rite of passage right there. Doug stumbled right into it, man.
Right.
When
That
you
was feet
get
to the fire.
When you get thrown in the pool and realize, oh man, I don't know how to swim at all.
Right.
But I don't want to drown, so let's get the fuck at it. Like that's that's a good point,
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah. It was pretty hectic. So, anyways, when I came back, I was dabbling in other stuff and wondering what to do, and 2012, and I was like, fuck, I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it different. No employees. That's one headache gone. I'm gonna, instead of doing bids and writing contracts, because I found out that don't fucking work. Just people have better lawyers than you do.
Yeah, don't
and
give them the rope to hang you, right? Like, right.
So that went out the window.
Yeah.
And bill by the hour, time and material. And you know what? There's not a more, I don't even know how to put it. The business model that I have is, to me and to my clients, is just unbelievable. It gives me income because I bill every week. So I always got a constant for the most part. Sometimes I drag it on a couple of weeks. But anyways, and they know exactly where they're at in their budget.
Right.
All the time, every week.
Right.
And even better than that is if something goes squirrely, you're fucking out.
Yeah, and you've been getting
Right. You can just
frequent-
bounce.
Yep.
Right. It's a clean cut.
You're out
Right.
1 week's worth of pay.
Call me when you get your shit together.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
fantastic. Yeah.
Well, and a lot of times now I'm like, here's the lumber bill. You pay it. I don't handle their money at all anymore.
Right.
Because it lets them see you're not overcharging them for lumber, right? Like,
Yep. All that. I didn't, and that brings up a good point, Jason, because I don't mark up stuff. I don't go to the store and buy a toilet. This is the toilet story for $100 and sell it to them for $150. No, it's
Right.
even my tile. When I buy tile, I was like, you can use my account. Here, you get 20% off. You take that.
Right. Yeah.
Not only did I not charge them, upcharge them, I didn't.
Right.
I gave them 20% more. It's
Yeah,
like,
you're charging them for labor and experience.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
quality. Like I can
Yeah.
I can speak, like I said at the beginning, Doug and I have been friends for a long time. I've seen Doug work. Doug does very nice, detailed work. He wants to do a good job and he succeeds at it. That's worth the money, man.
Yeah.
You don't need to upsell them on a toilet for
No. So people like that. So that's my new business. That's my business model, and it works really well.
That's a fantastic way to do it.
So thanks.
yeah, and the regular payouts. That's such a smart
Yeah.
idea. Not
Yeah.
letting people get too far behind with
Yep.
you. Like that's
No,
that's just good business, right? That's good advice for anybody thinking about starting their own company. Like get paid regularly.
Yes.
Right.
So that brings me to your original question was where do I get my clients from? Advertising don't work. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay.
No.
What sort of advertising did you, let's say, waste money on in the past?
No, I had yard signs, I had pamphlets, I had all that. About $7,000 invested, got me like one job. I was like, "Fuck that, man." I'm sorry. Can I swear on this?
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
fuck
Yes,
yeah.
you can. Yes, as much as you want, buddy. We talk
Yes.
wild shit on this
So,
podcast, man. Yeah.
It is an explicit podcast.
Yeah.
So I had one of my clients, one of my first clients in St. Paul. Nice house on Portland. Did some stuff. Did their kitchen remodel before I went to Iraq. Did a lot of interior remodel. When I got back there, they called me up. It's like, "Hey, Doug, are you gonna?" So yeah. So I took their garage door, and they have a garage in the alley. So I took their garage door from a side in, so a big chunk out of their backyard into a 16-foot garage door, and I moved it to the alley.
So it's straight in.
Yeah,
Right,
so
right,
it's straight in, and then I did a big retaining wall, in their
I was at that site.
yeah, and then I put a fence up for
I
them.
was
Boom.
at that site.
So lo and behold, the lady next door, and I can tell them, who it is, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. You want to shout them out? Go ahead.
Lady next door, Heidi Donovan, comes over and she goes, "Hey, can you give me an estimate on a garage? They had it's one of the lean-to garages where it's all fucked up, man. You just know.
Been there 15 years too long, built with substandard materials. Yeah, we got you, buddy.
The snowplow comes through the wrong direction. That thing's going over. But
right.
So I built this really cute garage to match her very nice house, and shakes. It's just beautiful. The detail was beautiful. So the next thing is she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna redo my kitchen," and that kitchen was a fucking shit show. I mean, it was just horrible.
Older house.
Yeah. Where they added on, and the addition is at a 3-degree angle off the fucking original house.
Oh,
and,
fuck me.
the hardwood floor is just rotten and deteriorated and just a horrible mess. But
I wouldn't know personally. I heard some issues with half the house in knob and tube and the other half rewired properly.
oh
Yeah.
god,
With some substandard junction boxes, I heard.
I run across it all the time.
Oh, I'm sure you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, the areas of town I see you
Yeah.
working, and I often think like, how often do you come across?
Oh, yeah, all the time. And people always say, "Oh, that's dead. But man,
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I carry a tester with me.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
carry one of the plug-in GFI
Yeah.
testers, and I carry
Carry the liar.
Man, $20 in tools will save your life every day, buddy. Every day.
that's still high.
Yeah, definitely for
So,
sure.
so I do test all my stuff because I've been shocked more times. And I went through a lot more pliers than I care to talk about.
Yeah. Liars and dice, right? Yeah.
As electricians, we've blown up a tool or two. If
No.
Hey, that's how we get tools replaced.
How
That one was getting
you're
old
supposed to be
anyway.
locked out.
Ooh.
yes,
Oh, not on a house, not on a
Yeah,
residential house.
residential
Come on
house.
now.
Oh man,
in
Come on now.
in a
Wait,
service man, sometimes I got to fly by the seat of my pants in the
Yeah,
service
I
van.
know.
Right?
Sometimes we do it to apprentices.
I'm
Just be
just-
like, hey, cut that.
I'm just pulling
Just to
your
wake 'em
fucking
up.
chain. Yeah,
That's what we need on this. It's just been us two
Yeah.
for so long, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're excited to have a guest on.
You'll get a little something from a 20 amp, but you go bigger than that. Or not. Yeah.
I don't know John's opinion on this, but my career opinion that I've developed now is everybody gets so many of them little shocks, but you don't know how many that's going to be. Your heart might take 50 and mine might take 1,000, but I think everybody got a limit to how many of them little ones you can get before your heart just taps out like a wrestler and goes, fuck it, we're done,
Right.
man. Like,
It takes half of an amp to stop your heart.
yeah, it's not a big, it's how you get the shock for people who
Right.
aren't in the industry, right? There's limiting factors here, but yeah, man, like
Yeah.
I don't like getting shocks.
I've been popped by 240, direct 240 and direct 277. It fucking
Oh,
hurts.
277 hurts. Oh man, and you can't let go. It's
No.
not like a receptacle where you shock yourself like an idiot
Yeah,
doing a homeowner thing.
Right.
Man, you can't let go of that. That hurts a lot.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, you guys, that's all. This is all bad. I thought the electricians were totally by the book.
Oh, fuck. Come on now.
Look, there's rules that every company has, and I follow my company's rules to the letter.
There you go.
I also get
company. That's a company answer.
I also get work done.
There you go.
And when those
and
two things conflict, I make a decision at the moment based on my experience, and that's why they hired me. So fuck it. Like,
And I spent 12 years non-union, so you know what? Fucking bring it.
Yeah, right. Oh, so you know, yeah.
so you're.
Let me hold on. I gotta throw this out there. So let me finish your question. Heidi Donovan, married to one of the greatest families ever in St. Paul. To me, I mean, I've worked for almost every single one of their David siblings, and then their kids.
That's great.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking 20 people out of that family alone.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And
That
these
spread like a wildfire for you.
Yep.
and
So
these are sort of things that a good contractor, the relationships they can develop. This is
Yep.
exactly what I want. Go ahead. Sorry to
Yeah.
step on you, Doug.
So I tell Heidi every time I see her, and I've seen her today. I just waved because I was in a hurry to get here. Didn't know I was going to be stood up for about 15 minutes, but
Wine.
I know. But anyways, I waved to her today. But I tell her every time I see her in person, I give her a hug. I said, Heidi, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And that's the God honest truth.
That's a great
That's
story,
important.
man. That's
Fuck
great.
yeah.
Shout out to Heidi Donovan and her family,
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
who I think I have met. Was it one of the Donovans that you and I and a few other people took that
Yeah, we did
tub
this.
out of the upstairs and had to get that tub out?
No, that was Jenny Housen.
Oh, okay.
No, we did the sauna for Paul Donovan.
So you want to talk about traumatic moments in construction industry?
This was one.
Two or three of my top 10 are with Doug
Yeah.
of the traumatic things that I did.
It wasn't swapping up the panel, was it?
No, it wasn't doing that. It wasn't doing that. No. For some reason, that was always seemed to be okay.
Well, they put a new meter on my house, so now it's got a pin on it again.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, no. Some people, I've heard, will do sketchy things in their apprenticeship as side work to make extra money. I'm not promoting this idea. I'm just saying I know that it happens. Maybe Doug and I had a few experiences in the early parts of my career and earlier parts of his career where we worked with one
but
another.
if you go back on that, you remember how many times I'd call you and go, Jason, how do I do it? How do I do this? How do I do that?
Right.
And you'd go, I don't know, because I'm not really residential. And you'd find out.
There was a lot of that, yeah.
Were those some of those times that you called me?
Yep.
Son
Sure
of a
was,
bitch.
man. Yeah. It's all
That's
coming-
full circle right there,
6
bro.
degrees of separation, boys. Yes, that's
Yes.
absolutely how that
Oh,
happened.
my
Yeah.
Hey, I got
God.
a question for you, man. How would you do this?
That's fucking absolutely what happened there. Yeah.
That's fucking.
I'm not proud at all.
That is fucking hilarious, man.
so we have.
And I thought they were coming straight from him. Because, like he's in a book. He's in the book, a
And
code
I
book.
didn't
Look
want to
at-
look like a fucking uneducated dickhead in front of my friend, right? So yes, I maybe used you for a little bit of that before I knew Resi that as well as
that's
I
funny.
do now.
So I spent most of my career
Glad that came up.
residential, like commercial.
Right.
The first part of my career before I moved to Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So now I can call you instead of Jason.
You can call me right up. Yeah. Just don't waste your time with Jason. It's fine. But what's so funny is, so we have history. And the first part I knew when I first met you, we were at your house. I showed up with him because I'm kind of in tow with him all the time, meeting everybody. And
For a while, you were.
this was what, 2014?
Yep.
Ish, 2015.
Ish. Yeah, ish.
I saw a table that you built. You were showing it off in your garage.
It's the one that's at Angelina's.
Oh yeah, that's at a restaurant in Woodbury. One of
Right.
them. I built 3 of them. I built one black walnut one for me, a white oak one, or 2 white oak ones. One for a client in Edina, and one for
Who
a
got the
restaurant.
first? Who got the first table?
Angelina's
Then
kitchen.
it's the one at Angelina's. Yeah,
Right.
It was
So-
the first one you did.
That was that big long.
Yeah.
That was the one
Yeah,
that was in my
long
garage
one.
forever because I was
Forever.
like paranoid over it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the thing that I was so impressed with is, and now I'm even more impressed because the length of time that you have in the construction industry, and I call it the construction industry in a relative kind of term, right? But doing what you do, dude, the quality of that table, I was impressed with.
Well,
I
thanks,
thought
man.
you were a furniture builder from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, because you've got to have some serious OCD at some points. Because seeing
a lot of
that
trial
table,
and error
I'm just
too.
like, fuck me.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. That was I can tell you that the story on that is my brother Steve had a sawmill. Jason's been to my brother's house numerous times, and he had this big white oak tree that fell in a cemetery in Wisconsin, I think Appleton, Wisconsin, and we hogged that down, and the sheets were probably 30 inches wide.
Holy shit.
And Angelina's Kitchen, the restaurant, the most beautiful table I've ever seen is a like a 1870 French farm table. So I went there one day, and I took pictures of everything, and took measurements, and I built it off of those pictures, and I built 3 of them.
Holy
But
shit.
yeah. I mean, they're not perfect. They're not but they function as designed.
No, and I think if you get a perfect table, when you say a perfect table, I would never, if I was going to order a table from you, I wouldn't want perfection.
Oh,
Because if you think about perfection as a consumer, you're all like, oh, that was machine built, that was pumped out in a factory with precision equipment.
Craftsmanship has defects and imperfections sometimes.
Right.
Certainly it does,
Right.
yes.
But seeing the quality of that table that you built, I'm just like, holy shit, this man built, like, I would like to think that with the proper tools, I could build a table.
yeah, like that.
But people don't understand when it comes to furniture building, the precision that it takes to build furniture is insane.
Do you consider yourself a carpenter who learned other skills, and that's why you're a remodeling contractor?
You know what? I'm gonna throw something out for Joe Horn.
Joe Horn, okay.
You know
Who
Joe.
is Joe Horn?
I know Joe Horn. Yeah, you know Joe.
Do I know Joe?
Motorcycle folks, Joe and Jen, great people. If they ever listen,
yeah, I
shout
know
out.
Joe and
Joe and
Jen.
Jen. Joe
Yeah,
Horn.
yeah.
Yeah, that's Joe
Okay.
Horn. Yeah.
So this was one of my gigs when I came back from overseas. Is used to ride with Joe,
Yeah.
right? And he's like, man, I could really use help, you know. So he took me on for a couple of years, and that man has forgotten more about trim carpentry than I know.
You've told me this before.
Oh my God. So there's times, and if Joe's listening, it's a fucking attaboy to him. I go, thanks, Joe.
Yeah.
Right.
Just in my head, I'm like, doing that trim that I showed you on those pictures today.
Right.
Yeah.
I was doing that, and I'm like, fucking Joe Horn taught me how to do that. Thanks, Joe.
Now,
I
I know
like,
you guys,
it's emotional to me.
Oh,
And I know
so yeah, sure it is.
I know
yeah.
everybody out there can't understand the quality. The pictures that Doug showed us today is like, the thing that struck me the most is the trim was like old school trim.
Yep.
It was like old school, like 1880 kind of
Yep.
style trim that nobody fucking does anymore.
That house was built that I showed you those pictures in was like turn of the century, 1906, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
So,
So-
not too far off. I was lucky
That-
fucking
man,
guess, right?
that's pretty close, buddy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you
For
that
not
one.
knowing
That's a win. Yeah,
architecture.
that's a win.
Yeah.
So, so you, and when if I can give everybody a graphic detail, like the door trim, you've got a big trim header above with stacked trim. It's
Right.
they're pieces.
Yeah.
They're not just like, oh, this is one piece of wood. It is a bullnose piece and then a flat header and then another bullnose piece.
I'm really sorry, gentlemen. Hold on. Remember your
Yep.
thoughts. We can hear every bit of your Velcro on the audio on your
Yeah.
pockets.
My what?
You're pulling your
the
Velcro on your
Velcro
pocket.
on your
Oh,
pocket.
shit.
It's okay, dude. Yeah, I'm just gonna get it. I'm just gonna get it out there right now. You were doing it unconsciously. It's in the audio, buddy.
Oh.
So that's going on.
Just to
Damn,
let,
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
No.
Just to let you know,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can all hear that.
I don't know why I was doing it. Jesus, pour some of that shit.
Yeah,
Doug,
yeah,
this is how sensitive these are,
Oh my!
right? So everything here. Let me.
Lucky I wasn't.
Something as simple as a pen, buddy.
Lucky I wasn't
Tell
itching
me
my.
when. Tell me when.
Oh fuck! When? Lucky I wasn't
yeah, so-
itching my hemorrhoids.
Yeah, it could have been worse. So, yeah, it could have been certainly worse, right? Yeah. Yeah.
All right,
God
so
knows what you thought you
Each
could do.
one of those doors has 7 different types of trim on it. 7 different pieces.
7 fucking Christ. I'd go insane.
Yeah.
And just look at your doors, people, and you'll see one piece of trim. One.
Right. The There's one piece underneath the window that I had matched was $500 for, let's call it 40 linear feet.
Holy shit.
Yeah, they had to cut the knives. They had to cut the knives for that, and then you got a setup fee. And yeah, when you're doing custom of those older houses, I'm always like,
How do you match that though?
first thing you do is if you can take a piece and take it to a mill workshop, one of the lumber yards,
yeah.
And they'll trace it, and then they'll look in their book and see if they can find it. And I'll, that here it is, but it's too short, it's too thin, it's too whatever. Will that still work? Like, nope. It's got to be 3/4 thick, whatever. And then they go to their custom place, and they'll send it to them, and they'll come back with an estimate. It's like, this is how much the knife costs to make, because they'll cut their own knife.
They'll make their own knife.
Yeah. They'll make their own knife, and then they'll cut that trim, whatever, perfect.
I understand what the knife is, Jason. Do you?
It's a planing.
No, I get it. But for the people who are outside the industry, sometimes
it's like a planing knife or a shaper knife that you run, and it gives the profile to the millwork. Sorry.
Perfect. It's okay. No, we have to do it ourselves sometimes. We get in our own heads. We know the terms of stuff, and right. Well, once in a while we'll explain one. And if I can point out real quick, this is exactly why we wanted to have you on, man. That was a detailed description of one individual piece of trim on something that Doug put into a whole mosaic to make it match the aesthetic of the house. This is one small thing. This is what experience buys you.
Right. And for the love of God, Doug, please send that to Jason.
If we can lean on you to send us some of those pictures, we'll put those up on socials. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
So
we'll get those up on. Yeah, we'll get at I saw podcast on Instagram. We'll get them up on there so everybody can see them.
The website and everything.
Yeah, if you don't mind, send those. I'll get them up.
Yeah.
So
I'll even send a picture of the table.
So please do. Yeah.
So when it comes to 7 pieces on a door trim, right? Now, are a lot of those, because I don't even know, and I'm just curious, I want to ask the question, are those all different lumbers?
No.
Are they all standard usually, like oak or?
Generally, that's all red oak. But I have done trim where you'll do a cherry casing, and then on the head block, you'll do a piece of like mahogany or something to break up that band between the side casing and the head block.
A little bit of contrast.
Yeah.
And then are you staining everything too?
I don't do that anymore.
No.
Like the home that you've seen the pictures of, that homeowner's doing that.
Okay.
But
sweat equity.
Let that be their problem, right?
Yeah,
I'm down with that decision.
Yeah.
I can see how that was an easy choice, buddy, for sure.
I used to do all that, and I had painters that I trusted to do it, but it's got to be done right.
Sure.
You can't just finger fuck it. It's
no.
So I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me this, man. If I was to put you on the spot,
all right.
You consider yourself, if you had to pick, you only have to pick one. You only get to pick one.
Oh, okay.
You consider yourself a carpenter then?
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. That's your trade.
I would say more of a carpenter than a framing contractor, or right. I mean, I do it all, but I think carpenter is more a definite term or defined term.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I was just because that follows up with my next question and this one is kind of take your time, man. You have a very different perspective from what John and I have at the moment because we both work on our own every day, in the service van or whatever, but you take care of so many different parts of a job site and a contract that you're doing. You'll get a little plumbing done, get a little this, you can't just focus on carpentry. You got to do other skills. Do you think it's to the benefit of people to become what would vernacularly be a jack of all trades, or to focus in on one trade? Like, what would you promote one way or the other?
Wow. That was an awesome question. And I thought about that yesterday.
Good.
Jason's going to ask me something, or John's going to ask me this question. And this is my take on it. Knowledge is, I don't want to say power, but knowledge is
valuable,
very valuable. Yeah. And as people go through their remodel, if they ask you a question about electrical, plumbing, gas, mechanical, framing, anything at all that has to do from foundation to turning the key and walking out the door. You have to be knowledgeable in all that. And man, to be able to answer a question that they ask, educated question or educated response is priceless to me. And they look at you and go, how the fuck did he know that? Or that's a really good answer. And straight up, if I don't know, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to bullshit you.
Right. Because there's a lot of that goes on in our industry, right?
Man, yeah. I'm not going to bullshit. You know, to me, and Jason, you know me, my integrity is my company.
I can vouch for that wholeheartedly.
That's it. You know, if I say I'm going to be there at 7:30, I'm going to be there at 7:30. You know, if this is what it is, that's exactly what it is. There's no wishy-washy bullshit. I have so much knowledge in my head that's just ready to fucking explode. And so getting back to your question, I'm going to expound on that in a minute.
No, please. Yeah, take your time, man. We got all the time in the world, buddy.
Yeah. Getting back to your question is I ask a lot of questions, right? Electricians, plumbers, mechanical guys, sheetrocker, anybody, any trade at all that I come across when they're on the job site, or even if they're not on a job site, there's somebody else's job site. I'm gonna, why did you do that? Because I know enough about electrical, I know enough about plumbing, I can sweat copper, I can do PEX, I can do fucking electrical, I can do all of it. And I'm like, why did you do it like that? You know, I want to gain that knowledge. And to be honest with you, depends how you ask the question is going to depend on the response. If I asked, you know, an electrician, hey, why did you, you know, how come you didn't put a pigtail in that metal box for ground? And he's like, what the fuck you talking about, man? You're asking how, you know.
Oh, it took offense. Yeah,
took offense.
People get thin skinned sometimes, right?
Took offense to
about
that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know, so, you know, I'm just a laid back dude.
Right.
I'm just having fun in life and fucking working my way through it, right? So Jason knows, it's like, and you know too, you know me well enough. It's like, I'm really personable with people, and it's like, hey man, what's going on? You know, get to know them. It's like, what do you know? Who do you work for? You union, non-union, whatever it is. And, you know, maybe ask that, and that's not going to be a question I ask because an electrician would know that. It's like, maybe there's something else, you know. How come you were able to staple 5 14-2s together? Okay. I went to a house and an electrical inspector said, hell no.
You're not supposed to do that.
Right.
Just saying.
Right.
Stacker staple. Stacker staple.
It's a little inside baseball but for just a quick second here, not all inspectors are created equal.
Not even close.
Some of them are a lot more particular than others.
No,
it's just FYI.
And that's a great point too, man. Is getting to know the inspectors. Right. I mean, the building inspector that I deal with, because I'm literally working 2 jobs within 2 blocks, right? So I was like bounce back and forth, and so it's the same inspector, city inspector, and him and I got a great working relationship. You know, it's because we just don't talk about whatever. And when I'll tell you what, when inspectors ask you to do something, fix it.
Just do it.
Get on their good side.
So easy, right?
They're there to help. They're there to help you out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just. You know, anyways, I get along with the inspectors. So, but to get back to my point, that was just something that, you know, I say I learn a lot from the subs that are on the job site, because I build a good rapport with them, you know, and I always say, look out for the next trade, you know, and I'm there through their whole process. So I'm looking out for the insulators next. I'm looking, or not, it would be electrical and mechanical and plumbing next. And, you know, and keep your job site clean. Put your shit away, you know, don't put it in front. You know, the guy's got to fucking drill a toilet there, you know, for a toilet flange. Don't put your tools on top of that. Just get your shit out of the way. I mean, it's just common courtesy, really, for me.
Right. We've talked about it a million
That's
times.
And you know what? And that, when they come in the next day and they're like, oh, damn, he's got everything out of the way, so I don't have to step over all his shit.
Right.
You know, and it's just, I guess that's what I'm saying, is build a good rapport with them, because, you know, for me, I'm looking for the next electrician, the next plumber, the next mechanical guy, because I may not like the one I have right now. You know, he's not responsive. He's overpriced. He's whatever. I'm looking for the next dude. And it's not a company usually I'm looking for. I'm individual, maybe one helper, apprentice. That's the guy I want. I want the veteran preferred for me anyways. Sure. Marine preferred on top of that.
Perfect, right? Yeah, obviously, right.
So I'll tell you
Semper Fi, right? Like, sure.
The electrician that I use lives here in town. And I found him. I'd seen a sticker on the back of his truck, looked in his trailer when he was packing it. I'm like, man, that trailer's fucking squared away.
Organized as hell, right?
I'm like, you're an electrician? He goes, yeah. You jarhead? Fuck yeah. I'm like, give me your card.
Right. Right.
These are the relationships you build.
Dude, and I just feed him work. I mean, if he gets a job or not, that's not up to me. If, I just feed him work because he's a jarhead. He's reliable, and he's good he's a very good electrician.
That's good.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, if we all looked out, he caught himself that time.
Yeah.
Right away when he did it. For everybody listening, his eyes went wide when he did that. That's his tick. Yeah, that's Doug's tell. You can tell when he's at the end of a story or something. He made his point. He pulls on the Velcro in his pants here. And he's also, I will admit, Doug came here right from work today. We record on Saturdays normally. Yep. Doug was out getting after it this morning, and he still made the time to come in here. Doug, we thank you. Cheers, man.
Cheers to
have you as our first guest, man. We're so happy to have you here.
I can't believe I'm the first guy.
First guest.
That's awesome.
First guest. Yeah, no,
so
this is
the one thing I wanted to ask you, Doug, when it comes to your business and things that you deal with day to day, and the customer, between the customers and the other contractors that you might have on the job site, what are your major areas of like struggle? What is the stuff that like?
Oh yeah, good question.
The part that you just beat your head against with deciding to be a remodeling contractor?
As we were talking about upstairs, I'm a shit tiler, and these gentlemen had a conversation about tiling my kitchen earlier, and I felt like a toddler in the middle of the conversation. So go ahead. Something like that.
Like that's like the because we all have it. If you're in the trades or if you're in construction, there are just certain parts that you wake up and you know that that's the task in the day, and you're just like, fuck, I don't want to go to work. Or
no, I know I get what you're saying. But when I get up in the morning, every morning I want to go to work. Right. If there's a challenge out there, that's a good question. That's it. The house that I just finished, this is going to be a long story.
Please.
So I put this addition on the house, and basically where you go from the existing house into the addition used to be a bedroom, right? So there's still the old door on there, the old 6-panel door, and it's been off since, oh my God, a year. Since I cut into the house and opened up everything, it's been off. It's plastic over it, fucking 100 times, whatever. So the last thing I did is, because I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. I'm like, oh God, this is going to be a nightmare. So they wanted to switch from left hand swing to a right hand open. So I had to switch the hinges around and do all that. Not a big deal. So I'm sitting there with the homeowner, getting ready to do something. I'm like, man, Lori, I don't know about this. And I look at the head casing, and the head casing is tilted, right? I mean, it's got a tilt. It's actually 3/4 of an inch over 32 inches from one to the other.
Oh my God, somebody was drinking that day.
Well, no, the house settled. Right?
Okay.
In them older houses, they didn't really understand structural bearing points. Right. So around the staircases, around chases, around chimneys and shit like that, everything sags down, right? So anyways, so I looked at it, I'm like, oh man. So the top, I could fix that. So the top of the door's cut at the same fucking angle. So now I got to switch. So now I'm going from one angle to the other angle. So now it's like,
motherfucker.
Right, so you can't just take the door out and put it back in.
No,
that's fucking annoying.
No,
fuck.
So
You never even think about that, right?
So I've been dreading that forever because I just knew it was going to be
You knew it was coming down the
nightmare.
pipe.
So I did it. I put it in. I'm putting the hinges on, and I didn't set the hinge. I didn't mortise the hinges in because I knew the door, if I did that, the catch might not catch, right?
Sure.
Because that's how fucked up this door is. So I'm putting the last 2 screws in the bottom of the hinges, and both those fuckers, I pre-drilled them. I'm no dummy. I fucking pre-drilled them. Both of them, they're like the soft brass screws.
Yep.
Fucking twisted right off, both of them. This is at the end of the day.
Oh, it never happens fucking
No.
Monday morning at
It's
9:30.
usually Friday at
Fuck,
3:30.
it never does.
It was Friday at 3.
Yeah,
it was
fucking
yesterday.
of course
I'm
it
like,
was.
No fucking way. So I got it in, it switched the lock, switched in more. You know what a mortise lock set is? A mortise lock set is a box that from the old days that slides into into a mortise, and the handle goes through there. But so those you pull out, you can take the cap off, and you can flip the strike around, right?
Oh, okay.
So it's just,
Yeah, so it latches left, right instead of right to
yep,
left.
right.
Yeah, I got you.
Pretty
Yeah.
basic.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
just a spring in there. You just flip it and put it back together, slide it. Anyways,
Yeah, if you don't understand what he's saying, don't put your own door in.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
exactly.
Doug.
no, this is
Hire Doug.
This is way beyond the
Yeah,
basics.
yeah,
of
yeah.
door,
Call a
of,
professional.
of
If
door
you
me-
don't understand what we're talking about, call a professional.
of door mechanics. So I get there today, and I go upstairs, and the first thing the homeowner says is like, "Doug," I'm like, "I know." The door stop is even a 1/2 inch thick, where normally it's only 3/8 or less. And there's a little crack on the top where the fucking thing goes all cattywampus. And I'm like, "I know." I said, "I can fix that." I just didn't want to get overzealous, right?
Right.
And then do whatever I thought was right. I just want to give her the option because you can't go back.
Right.
So is that good enough for you? Because it is all fucked up. Is that good enough for you? Nope. All right, this is what I can do. I'll cut the door at an angle. I'll slide the whole thing up, whatever, and it'll be done deal.
Yep.
I'll be here Monday.
I'll take care of that Monday.
It's such a common thing in construction. You have to run decisions by customers and owners and investors that are irreversible without a cost.
Right.
So you can at least say, man, I talked to you about this.
Right.
I gave you the choice, right? Like we talked about it. You have
Yeah.
to be able to do that. That happens all across our trades. Because like in the case of your door, I mean, if you cut that wrong and flip it around, all of a sudden the math is wrong. Well, you got to buy a new door. And
Well, and that's what's so great about Doug's position is because he's working directly with the person that's
Man,
paying the bill.
that's
Yeah.
actually got to be
there's-
real nice. I'm a
There's
bit
no
jealous of that.
PMs. There's
Right.
no GCs.
Oh, right,
There's no,
right.
Yeah, the level of leadership that you have to deal with is very appealing to me. I can tell you that, man.
Well, and it goes back to, not patting myself on the back, but I'm just, I'm a straight up guy, and I'm not gonna fucking yank people around and any clients around. It's a lot of times it's hard. Sometimes it's hard. It's like, look, this is fucked up. This is gonna cost you some money. Like that trim I was telling about. She's like, this is getting expensive. I'm like, no, it is, but it's not my deal. I'm trying to match what you got, and that's what you want.
They made the decision, right?
Yeah.
So that's when the wallet's got to be fucking open.
Yes, and you got to be able to have these conversations. That's a skill in itself for you too, Doug. To
Yeah.
have
The
these,
PR skills.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
these
yeah.
proper conversations that doesn't scare people off. You
Right.
just be firmly honest and try to get
Right.
your point across so that you're doing your best.
I throw that back to the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
I mean, coming out of the Marine Corps with all that confidence that you can, basically you can tackle the world if you try hard enough.
Right.
And so that, I'm a real confident guy. I'm just like, nobody fucks with me. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's like,
It's because you're full of gray.
yeah,
We don't want to fuck with you.
No, hey, listen.
no,
Doug talking about being confident. Hold on. The first time I met Doug, let's talk about that we got some time here, all right?
You got way more gray than I first met you. Just saying.
He didn't have no gray when I met Doug. He had no gray on his head or his face. I met Doug through
I'm 60 years old.
all right. Our wives know one
Jesus,
another.
man.
I moved here. I was at the grocery store one morning. My wife and his current wife run into one another. They're talking for a minute. Oh, hi, this is Doug and this is Jason. We shake hands, and Doug gives me this. Now that I've learned after getting to know some Marines over like my tenure in the States, I find out that's what they do. They give you a little more than they needed to, firm handshake. You get one quick pump like, hey man, how are you? It's nice to meet you. Like,
What up?
Holy fuck!
he did the same thing to you. I know he did.
Same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, right. It's what they do.
You
It's,
son of a
and man,
bitch!
it's not just him. I know other Marines
No.
now. It's a pretty. I don't know if they teach it to them or not, but it's a pretty common thing. But
Crispy did the same thing.
now he was another one I was thinking
Yeah.
of. Shout out to Crispy, right?
It's a test.
It's a test, right? Yeah. Can you take a little more than I needed and not fucking be a bitch about it?
Just a
It's
firm squeeze.
It's an effective test. It worked on me.
right.
I knew where I stood a little bit with this guy immediately. that's handy for dudes.
Right.
I think it's part of the reason we became friends pretty quick after that,
thanks.
man. Yeah.
Thanks,
I
man.
think back about that often, buddy. Like, yeah.
You know what? If I grab your wrist and shake your hand, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
There we go. See, and that's the deal. Growing up in the Midwest, I was raised on no. You give a man a firm handshake.
Yeah.
You don't fuck around with it.
Yeah, and if you grab fingers, you grab the limp dick.
The fucking lip. Yeah. No. You don't.
No,
do
you
that
go in. If you're a man,
fix
you're
that shit.
gonna go and fix it. Yeah,
And
it's
if
absolutely.
occasionally that happens by mistake, unintentionally,
Right.
that you're probably never going to be friends with that guy. Now, like really friends,
Yeah,
right?
right.
It'll always be a little awkward with that dude.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about, folks. That's
That's
definitely
why
fucking happened
That's
to you.
why you have to go in and fix
Oh,
it.
fuck
like,
yeah.
Yeah, if that happens,
like,
you got to
no.
suck that up. My fault, man. I should have been paying more attention. No, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah,
Like,
I
you
did
got to
reach in
solve
far
that
enough.
Oh
immediately.
yeah, you're exactly right, Jason. You apologize. Like, oh, sorry, dude, man. You
Immediately.
go back in.
You got to
Yep,
be,
yep.
you got to man up and take the L right away and go,
Right,
hey,
you
fuck,
don't
sorry,
fuck
I
around.
fucked that up.
Yep.
Like-
If he's a good dude, he'll fucking go. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right,
I
man.
never realized that. That
Oh,
is
now
such a
you
good
know you
point.
got to fix that right away.
Oh,
That
yeah.
can affect.
No, that part
Oh,
affected.
yeah.
But with you, Doug, like I didn't realize that was a thing. I'm like, no, it's
That's-
a firm
that's
handshake. That's a
absolutely
Midwest
a thing.
handshake.
Yeah.
God damn it.
No, I can tell you, it was a little more than necessary, but I understand why, and I agree.
You set the stage, man.
You're right. Yeah.
And I think, Doug, honestly, when it comes to your PR skills, if I consider myself, yes, I'm an electrician by trade, but I'm pretty handy when it comes to a bunch of different things. But I know that if you were to explain to me something, I wouldn't second guess it. Just the way that you carry yourself, the way that you talk, the way that you speak.
Right.
Like I'd be like, no, of course, dude.
Right.
To your original point,
Fantastic.
Marine
Thank
Corps
you.
confidence is
Right.
what he's talking about.
Right.
Just what you were saying.
And Jason, you and I have talked about this too. This is how I go about life, right? I always have a smile on my face. Okay. I go into the convenience store every day, whether it's one holiday or the other, right by my house. I go in there, always got a smile. And people always like, hey, how you doing? It's like I lift up the spirit of the place when you go in there with a great positive attitude.
Right.
And it's so much easier and so much more fun to be positive and full of energy than it is to be mean and grumpy and vindictive and all that.
It's way harder to be a pain in the ass, right?
Isn't
It
it?
takes effort to be a cunt about stuff, right? It really does.
But when you go in and you got a smile and you just got something nice to say, every day I'll give somebody a compliment every day. Don't even know the lady or don't even know whoever. I'm like, those are nice earrings. Right.
Man, I worry about a sexual harassment lawsuit.
Fuck
No,
that.
no, man. Right. Here's the thing, though, okay? I'm public service announcement for this episode. Stop worrying about that. People want to be complimented and feel good about their day.
Yeah.
If someone was to turn on you and go, I don't like that you said that, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I was trying to say something nice. I'll know for the future. And now you
Won't
know.
do it again. Thank you very
now
much.
you know. All right, avoid fucking people like that. Like,
Right.
yeah,
But
no.
that's how I go about life, and that's how I go about my business every day. It's like, you know what? Does that answer your question, by the way?
You know what? I think you did. The one part that I wanted to add to that question though before we moved on was your career path. Like, what was so you retired from the Marines. And I'm assuming like that's full retirement. Full bird, 20 years.
No, not full bird.
No. Sorry.
No, I retired.
Sorry.
I retired at first.
That's John talking sergeant movies and stuff,
oh,
right?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so you
No,
retired
not full-
as Doug?
as a first sergeant.
First sergeant.
So
Yep.
20 years.
Yep.
Retirement.
Yep.
And that's what I meant by full bird. Like
Yeah.
full length,
Yeah.
20 years.
Yeah.
You decided to go all in, right?
Oh yeah, God, I loved it.
And gave our country 20 years of your life.
Yep.
Thank God. Thank you for your
Oh
service, sir.
fuck,
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Oh, you're welcome.
You did a job that I know I certainly couldn't do.
I
So-
enjoyed all of it. It
So
was awesome.
switching from that, right? So, and choosing to be a remodeling contractor and get it. What was the hardest part of that path for you?
Wow, that's pretty. I can get really in depth in that question, and I'm gonna because it serves a great point of emphasis on how I am the way I am today. So, when I was in the Marine Corps, probably 1986, I was a young sergeant drill instructor at MCRD San Diego, right?
Fucking, I was 5.
I was
So-
maybe 6 years old, depending on what time of year he was there.
Son of
Go
a
ahead,
bitch.
Doug. Go ahead.
So,
Okay.
so you know what a drill instructor is, right?
Yep.
And I was what they call a junior drill instructor, which means you're the asshole. And usually there's two to three, sometimes four. And the senior junior is a strong belt, so he's pretty much dictates the whole fucking way things, the demeanor of what the day is going to bring, right? So anyways, I was a junior drill instructor, and I was a junior drill instructor for a long time because I kept fucking up. But
Happens to the best of us.
no. So negative, just straight up negative. You're a piece of shit. You're a fucking dog. You're whale shit. You're this. You're that. You're just negative.
Fuck
negative.
you and everybody that looks like you.
You're
Okay,
a
yeah.
negative mother. And so I picked up senior drill instructor, which means now I'm like the daddy guy, the compassionate one, right? And I thought about it. It took me a long time to get there because I got in trouble a couple times, but and they're like, no, Luebke senior drill instructor, not this cycle. Sorry.
Not gonna do that.
Same shit, different day.
Yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Put it back in the fucking hole.
Five platoons, strong junior. 5 platoons, strong junior. So, anyways, I had a lot of experience, and I was pretty knowledgeable about being a drill instructor. So, and I thought about it, just like when I came back from Iraq and thought about my my business model, my new business model, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be a positive guy. At that point in my life, my whole fucking life changed. Everything I do now is positive motivation, positive reinforcement. Just being exude, or is that the right word?
Exude,
Exude
depending on what you're going to say.
Yeah.
It might
Yeah.
be, yeah.
Just
We'll tell you
yeah,
after you're done if that was the right word.
Yeah.
or not.
No, just exude confidence, exude positivity, exude. I don't want to say love's kind of deep for me. I'm not a fucking hippie, but just exude. I don't know.
Compassion.
Compassion is a
Compassion.
great
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
Jason.
Maybe
Compassion. A very compassionate person.
Yeah.
And it changed my life. It really did. And it changed how I went about everything I did, and Jason knows I got a group of Marines that I took the Desert Storm in 1990. All state platoon, 1st Battalion, 1st Marines, Scout Snipers. And to this day, there's about 15 of us that stay in constant contact every day. I can pick up that phone right now and I got 23 messages of some bullshit that these guys are spewing.
Just random shit.
Just random shit. Look at my fucking tequila shot, whatever. But I built that unit, hand selected, through interviews, all these Marines, and we were deployed. We were overseas somewhere in the Pacific, and so I got them together. We get back, 1990, summer of 1990, from a Westpac. Oh shit! Sorry, fuck. I'm getting maybe it's when I get
No, it's
maybe
good.
it's
I'm
when I
glad
get
you're
excited.
excited. Yeah.
Right.
So, anyways, we get back, and Saddam Hussein invades Kuwait, right?
Yep.
So I took over the state platoon halfway back from the deployment because this other guy got hurt, had broke his neck in Okinawa. But we get back. All my senior guys, all the school trained snipers are gone. Boom, they take them. They're going to combat. They're going to
Right.
All right. So they go to 7th Marines and they're gone. And I'm like, holy fuck, Doug's got state platoon. He's got nobody. But all these newbies that I just picked up out of all these other units, right, that I selected. All right. So this is July. We're gonna deploy to Kuwait in January 1st of 91. We're gonna deploy. So I got, how many was that? August, September, October, November, December. I got 5 months to train a platoon of Marines to be Scout Snipers.
Which, for the uninitiated, a platoon is how many members?
I actually, oh God, I was the only platoon in the battalion that had, I think I had 38 Marines with no platoon commander.
Jesus, all right.
And that
just
is-
to set a perspective of what we're
Yeah.
talking about here.
Yeah.
right?
And that
Like,
is
yeah.
taking 38 confident, half cocky
personalities.
personalities and make them a unit,
Yep.
right? Make them a functioning unit.
All right,
Yep.
yeah.
So-
So everybody keep going.
So the the unit that I took over, the platoon I took over, was not what I wanted it, not in my mind what I pictured it to be. So I pushed out who I didn't want. Right? You're a sergeant. You're not what I want in a sergeant. I want a sergeant that is going to be fucking spot on. Right. There's no fucking wavering. And remind me, no, I just came off the drill field. Right. And
oh God!
So, I just came off the drill field.
Right.
3 years on the drill field. Never been in an infantry unit before. I've never done my MOS, which is my military occupational specialty. Never done that. So I went from barracks duty to Mountain Warfare Training Center to be a mountaineer to drill field. So my commanding officer, when I left the drill field, says, you're going to go to school. So he sent me to a school. Anyway, I learned all the basics, got it. Did one deployment as a platoon sergeant in a line company, took over state platoon. So I got all these guys. I know what I want. I want people that have different talents, scroungers, bullshitters, fucking shooters, all this. And sent a bunch of guys to sniper school. I went to sniper school, left my chief scout sniper, which is a senior guy underneath me, Mark Anderton. Said, Mark, this is what I want. Boom, 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 boom. Got it. Roger that. He fucking took everybody that wasn't in schools, and I took everybody that went to sniper school, and we just split, fucking conquered and divided. Graduated sniper school December 23rd, deployed January 1st with a fucking locked on, motivated, disciplined fucking platoon, ready to go to combat.
A fucking unit.
Fantastic, right?
Wow.
And
that's what positive leadership does.
And if I may, let me bring that back to what started this story. The ability that Doug has through his experience to focus on the big picture and see the long-term goals, that's part of what makes you successful in what you're doing now. You don't get caught off guard. You can think a project ahead and be successful because you make less mistakes if you can.
You're spot on, Jason. And that's, if people that are out there listening, now that I know there are people listening.
There are actually, surprisingly, dude, multiple countries and a couple other continents.
Right.
No, on my phone, I got your guys' web, thing, and it's like, oh, okay, no, I just kidding. No.
You just remembered you're supposed to be here. Perfect.
No.
Right.
Oh, shit, I forgot what I was going to say. But no, so that would go out to, the younger people that are listening out there. It's like, hey, gather that up and, use that. Fucking, go ahead. I lost my train of thought.
If you want to be part of all parts of the process, now I'm a specialist as an electrician union guy, right? But I'm not against people who are like Doug, where it's taking care of many trades in order to do a whole project on your own. But if you're going to go down that road, make sure you are educated enough and get some experience and are confident enough to look into the future, because if you can't see the whole project, you're going to make a lot of costly mistakes.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. I have got to take a piss. Way too much whiskey.
Go ahead, buddy.
You can either pause or you can just keep talking.
Keep
I'll
going.
be right back.
We'll keep going.
Keep going. Yeah.
So that's a great point, Jason. It's like I when I take a shower at night, and I have this kid, the home that one of the other houses I'm working on, the one that is half being remodeled and half not being remodeled, and the people are sleeping on the floor. And I mean,
we talk about it. That's rough, buddy.
I mean, those people are troopers. They're in their 60s. They're sleeping on the floor in front of a fireplace. And
you told us the missus is getting after it, right?
Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, tell us about that quick.
Mary reminds me of my mom. They're just old school. You talk about old school. It's like, there's no rest until the work is done.
God love them, man.
Oh, she's nonstop. And I told her yesterday, I'm like, Mary, that's why I love you, because not only if I say so, I want something done, so it's faster when I get there and save you time and money, she'll have it done. Mary,
what's her name?
Mary.
Mary. God love you, Mary.
Yeah. It's so, anyways, I was working with her son, and he kind of juiced me one night. I was like, hey, Lucas, man, you got to have X, Y, and Z done. So when I come in at 4:00 in the afternoon to frame up these walls, I'm not spinning my wheels on this. So it was a teaching point
Makes sense.
It was a teaching point for the kid, right? And I told him why. I'm like, look, Lucas, and I left. I didn't stay. I didn't stick around. I said, I could have stayed at my other job, progressed that further down the road so I didn't have to work there on Saturday. But since you didn't do that, and the kid's smart, he got it. Since you didn't do that, here I am. I just wasted an hour, not only your dad's money, but my time, an hour and a half or whatever. So anyways, I told him, I said, Lucas, I stand in the shower, at night, and I plan out my next day. From the time I get up until the time I get done with work, I plan out what I want to achieve, right? I make a goal. We're talking about me every day making goals for the next day. I think it's real important.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah.
I think a lot of us are in the shower at the end of the day thinking about the responsibilities and the necessities of the next day. Like, I mean, we call this the
100%.
I Shower After Work podcast. That's the moment of reflection. I think that's really common, right?
Oh,
Yeah, for
right.
sure.
I mean, if you're a professional, that's what you do. I mean, you have to think of what your next goal is, what your next day is going to bring. If you go into it cold with no thought into it, you're wasting money.
Yeah.
You're wasting money. I mean, this is how I get. I bill for my lunch hours. You know why? Because I bring a lunch, and while I'm eating my lunch, I'm standing there looking at this project going, all right, that's my next 5 moves.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
off, right?
No,
Lunch
no.
ain't time
No,
off for the
no.
people with responsibilities.
No.
Lunch is time to everybody shut the fuck up for a minute and eat while I think about what we got to do this afternoon. Like, yeah.
Right, for sure.
But I do take my 9:30 fucking break.
You got
9:30 morning break.
Mate, Dominic taught me that.
You got to stop
Oh.
about an hour and a half after sunup. You got to stop for a minute, have a fucking cup of cigarette,
Oh
whatever
my-
your
just-
thing is. You got
just to
stop
dial
for
down
fucking
for a
minute.
second.
Like, you got up early, you rolled out of bed, you're fucking getting after it. Man, you got to take a minute. Like,
And we're up, and I'm sure you are too. We're up before the sun's up.
Yeah.
Man.
Like, fuck, man.
I'm always up at 5.
I see the
I've
sun.
done more work in the trades than fucking most people do before the sun comes up. Fuck off.
I see a lot more sunsets and sunrises. I can fucking tell you that.
Right.
The percentage isn't even close.
Right.
It's so anyways, the thing about it is
You
plant.
got it while you're upstairs.
I should have fucking filled up the ice bucket. God damn it.
That's nothing but cold water.
That's
right
cold
there.
water in there now. Yep.
So yep, have a vision of the future. Be able to think, be able to multitask. I'm booked out right now until probably September. I got all these projects in my head, and what it is it's damage control. It's okay. What's the next priority? What's next in the fucking batting circle? What's next on the radar? Okay, now you got to start not only working these other 3 jobs that are active, but you're working the next 3 jobs that are coming up, and it gets overwhelming.
Oh, sure. Keeping track of
Yeah.
not only what needs to be done, but
Yeah.
when, and getting material there on time. I mean, there's a lot of steps
Yeah.
beyond what like John and I have to deal with as
Right,
what I
you
would
got-
call like what would we call ours compared to somebody who's doing renovation contracting? General construction, it's not always new construction, but
Well, a lot
like
of it's new construction.
new construction. So let's
Yeah,
say
yeah,
new
yeah.
construction versus that. I know what my steps are because that stuff is detailed out as part of a
A
plan
bit, an
that
estimate or
was,
a
that was
bid. Yeah.
figured out up the flagpole for me.
Yep.
Right.
That's a benefit that I have. I don't have to.
Yeah, you have a script in front of you that you got to
Yeah,
follow.
yes.
Yeah,
Now,
people
does
got to
it
get
adjust?
shit done before I can get my stuff done, which means I need to get my shit done before somebody else needs to get their
Right.
shit
And that's what I talked about, following the other trades or looking out for other trades.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
but you're carrying all of that onus
all of
on
it.
you. I'm just trying to point out that this is a valuable career path, but make sure you got to see the big picture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep stepping on it. You got to see the big picture if you want to be a general contractor.
You
for yourself.
have to see the whole thing start to finish. Right.
Well, and that's where the job satisfaction comes in. When you're doing something, and I used to do this. I still do it, like on a Friday. I always try to put a wow factor in there, right?
Oh yeah, finish up the
Yeah,
the week.
yeah.
with
Hang that-
something
right?
good.
Yeah, hang that
Yeah.
light, set the microwave, do this, do that, put the toilet in, anything.
Something
There's a-
visual at the
Yep,
end of the
Yep.
Yeah,
And
buddy.
people really appreciate that. It's subtle, but
And I think people get lost in the fact of, even if it's some subtle, like you said, mount a toilet. get that
Right.
toilet in that
Yeah.
you've been working on. You've had the plumbing done for 3 months, and now you can. The floor's finished.
Yeah.
That toilet's going fucking in. Make it. Take the time to rejoice in those little wins that you get,
Yeah.
because without them, you get lost.
Oh, look, you got the faucet and the shower head and the controls in and the shower door today. And they're like, wow, look how great it's coming together. When you know it took you the 5 days before that to do the goddamn pan
Right.
and
right,
the water
right.
test. Like, right?
Right.
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 You need some moments where you get to feel good about what you've done. That's construction wide.
Well, and that's where the goals come in every day.
Right.
You know, just did I meet my goal? Yes. Didn't I meet my goal? Why? Reevaluate, recock, fucking next day, start at it again. That's what I said. When I get up in the morning, my feet hurt because I'm getting fucking old, but you know, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go out the door. 6:30, I'm out the door generally. You know, hit Menards, do whatever, grab my material, got a list, fucking out the door, ready to go. 7:30.
It's a good
impressive,
attitude,
yeah.
buddy. That's a good attitude.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, it's like I don't know, man. I just keep going, and I get that from my mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mom is just like Mary, nonstop. 90 years old.
Go, 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 go.
Yeah, just like wow.
Yeah. Stop
Yeah.
me. I dare you.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. What are you going to tell me? Like,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's,
Bring it,
You
pumpkin.
want that, right. Yeah, I was taking care of stuff when you were in diapers. They love saying that. I don't know. I assume every guy's heard that at one
Well,
point.
I was training recruits when you were in diapers.
I mean, it's
right.
close. I'm not going to
All right,
argue the semantics of it. It's
but-
pretty close.
All right, fucking pull-ups. Then.
Right, yeah, probably. Yeah.
I've been with a guy. I'm working with.
Hey, man, stop
side-
hesitating at the end of comments like that. Continue.
I've been working side by side with a guy. That's why I changed my
Better.
vernacular here.
It's slightly better.
And he was cocky, and he wouldn't listen, and he wouldn't take direction until the point that I looked at him and said, "Dude, I've been doing this since you were in second fucking grade. Shut up."
Right,
And then he's just like, "Oh,
right.
okay."
Well, we've talked before. One of my favorite games when I used to be working field, and I say field now, Doug, versus
Right.
service, right?
No, it's
Yeah,
in the field.
It's
Yep,
different, right?
Yep.
One of my favorite games when I was in the field was if an apprentice was getting a little uppity about it, whatever, right? Second and third, fourth years start to get a little overconfident sometimes. So,
Sometimes,
right?
yeah,
At least
yeah.
in electrical, they do.
Jason.
Yeah, I might have been. I'm not
He
willing.
wasn't bad.
I'm not willing to admit. I'm not proud, folks. I might have been a little cocky at some points too. Was to go through the list of things that I had done before they were born, and sometimes that got real fun. Like a few of them, I got to the point where it was like, oh, so I got laid for the first time before you were born. I had a license. I had multiple jobs. Been in the back of a cop cruiser. Like it was a real fun game.
Right.
And if and always you had a couple of guys who were slightly older than you in the trades as well, sitting around listening to that. When they started to jump in,
Oh God.
I'd been fucking-
It's just a
I
snowball,
had my
man.
second fucking divorce, and it got real fun sometimes.
I got my third DUI by the time you were
It
born.
was a
Shut up.
grenade I loved throwing in the middle of a break room.
Oh God.
Because if everyone piled onto the apprentice, it really drove him back. Like, I better shut the fuck up for a little
right.
bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Remember?
I'm not bringing that attention my way anymore. Fuck that shit.
I'm
Like,
going back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to shut the fuck up and do my job now. Sometimes those are fun.
That's when he leaves the break early.
Yeah. I got to go have a smoke quick. That fucking kid don't
Kid don't even smoke.
Fuck that kid. Like, yeah, he's just trying to take a breath and walk away for a minute.
No.
So you've got all this experience, Doug. I think we had one more question at the bottom there, John.
Yeah.
What do you got, man? Like computers acting up on me.
So the biggest thing that for the last question, it's like horror stories. We all have horror stories.
Yeah, that's what it was,
Yeah.
buddy. Yeah.
Right. We all got horror stories to tell. Like, what is something that in the construction industry? Because I want to dial it into your remodeling contracting business.
I hate those stories.
Right
Like,
now,
I
that's
want-
what we
I-
want them.
I
Yeah, we
wanna
all hate
know.
them, buddy. We all
Horror
hate them, buddy.
stories.
Yeah,
We all
yeah.
have horror stories.
Hold on,
I want,
let me take a
Yeah,
smash
have a
this.
smash of that. Build up some courage.
we
here.
want to
Yeah.
know the couple of the worst horror stories that you got.
Yeah, so either something that just went sideways or a customer that was a nightmare. You lay it on us, buddy.
All right. Let me start out by saying that.
If you start with no customers a nightmare, I'm
Nope.
going to call bullshit.
Nope.
Yeah,
Fucking-
okay, don't bullshit us. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, don't fucking bullshit us.
that is
Yeah.
absolutely not true. And like I said, I'm a man. I'll fucking tell you straight up. 20, let's call it 25 years in business. I've had probably 3 clients that I didn't walk away with a handshake.
That's a good percentage.
That's damn good, actually.
Ooh, that's good.
The first one, like I said, I was right out of the fucking starting blocks, man, and I was in over my fucking head. I'm talking turn of the century house, brick facade, curved walls, custom Doug for millwork, fucking 4-panel sliding door that collapses into the fucking wall. Oh my God.
Right. For everybody,
Wow.
for anybody even outside the trades, John and I probably both felt our stomach turn when he said curved walls.
Yeah, we really did.
Dude,
Everything after that was just a kick in the head for no reason.
I had to learn how to fucking build a curved wall. 2-story fucking curved wall, no doubt.
Oh, God.
On the back. And it's like, okay. So
Jason's reaching for the whiskey.
I'm short, kids.
so I did really good. I mean, what I got overwhelmed with was change orders, shit like that. The architect was good. I mean, he had a great detail. I mean, there was a lot of different details in this. I mean, you're matching the existing exterior, matching the existing interior. So anyways, that was a long time ago, 2004 or 5 maybe. And I don't know exactly what happened, but we broke off relationship and, whatever. So that was a burn. And it's in my head, it's like, I don't like to fail. I'm not a failing guy. I succeed at every fucking thing I do. So anyways, that was a referral to my next job, which was in Apple Valley. And again, I came off of one job. I'm over my head into a job that's 4 times over my fucking head.
Oh.
This is the confidence that I had. I can fucking do that. Fuck yeah. Right? I can do it. And I could do it to a certain point. My business sense wasn't as good as it is now, so to speak. So that one went into, and it turned out to be $1.5 million remodel. Huge remodel, huge. The millwork for the downstairs alone was $25,000 of cherry wood.
Just the millwork.
Just the millwork. Just the casing and the crown molding.
God.
Baseboard was $25K.
Before a stick of it went in the air.
Right.
Yeah,
right. That was just purchase price, right?
That's to get it into the driveway.
Oh, it's like, so we're doing really well. Doing good. I got Nick working for me. I got Demetrius working for me. And, we're good. These guys know. They're union carpenters that are on the bench or whatever they are. And Nick would
they
come
had some
help.
downtime, right?
Yeah, he would come help me. And Nick taught me a lot about framing. So anyways, and the 9:30 break.
Let's not give Nick too much credit here. I know Nick way too well.
No.
Also, the only feedback we got from Dominic was mildly negative.
Well, he's not going to get negative on me. He gets negative on me, I'll take it down on him.
Yeah, well, that's what we're going to need. Nick, when you listen to this one, we said it before, man. Fuck you a little bit.
Well,
fuck you a little bit.
We love you, but
Nick is my oldest friend. Believe it or not, I've known Nick longer than anybody else in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's mentioned it before too. We joke around because he's one of the best. Yeah, I'm giving Nick shit more than anything. But
he's mine in Minnesota.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
That's true. Yeah, no, Dominic's fantastic.
Right.
No, shout out to Dom, man. We love Nick.
No,
yeah.
all right, let me get back to the story before I lose
on,
my train of thought. So, anyways, we have a couple issues in that. I got half the house open above the 3-stall garage. Fucking rain's coming in, water's coming in, blah 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 blah. I mean, it's getting fucking chaotic. I get a call, whatever. So we get finished. We get down, and I give this lady her final bill, and it's like $150,000, and she refuses to pay it. I'm like, I didn't keep track of my change orders. I didn't keep track of what she was doing. I got ripped off by the fucking plumbing company. I won't mention their name. Yeah, I was in fucking way over my head. I was in debt probably $250 for this job between lumber, plumbing, electrical, whatever.
That's tough, man. That's tough. Yeah.
So she's the CEO. So we go to court, and guess who loses?
Yeah, you do.
Right.
Right. She had better lawyers.
Yeah, she comes back with an offer of, hey, I'll give you $20,000 if you walk away. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not doing that. That's beyond my. That's just not. I'm not gonna have. That's not happening. I have a lumber company, and this is why I don't don't pay fucking subs anymore,
Right.
or vendors anymore,
Or do contracts.
right? Or do contracts. I had a 25-page contract. It didn't help me. Lean waiver, blah 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 blah, all that shit.
Look, I don't want to oversimplify, but the two greatest letters in the contracting industry are T and M.
Right.
T&M. Yeah. No, they are.
They're right.
It's
So
the only
for a
letters
reason.
in the alphabet I really need from now on.
So this lady was a fucking tool, man. So Jeff Agater and I, this is when Jeff was doing fucking concrete.
Shout out to Pineapple.
Flat work, right? We pour this colored 3-stall wide driveway of colored concrete. You're talking
Stamped? Colored?
no, just regular,
Or just
colored,
colored?
just colored flat.
Okay.
It was in the fall. Concrete sets up. They put too much hydrochloric fucking whatever they put in it.
Lehigh.
Yeah, that weird Lehigh spray.
Yep.
Yeah.
They put that. So we're
High
halfway.
early.
Yeah, exactly. We're halfway down the driveway and this shit's a brick
Yep.
set
Yeah.
up. So Jeff calls up. We tear it up. We get new concrete. Put new concrete down. Jeff's troweling it off fucking under the flashlights. He's troweling the last fucking down at the road. Go there the next morning. There's fucking high heel prints in the fucking concrete.
No.
Yep. I'm like,
What the fuck?
I'm like, what the fuck? Exactly. I'm like, what the
I wish for the first time we had video to see the look on your face, which I assume is the same as the look on mine. Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope. But the story gets better. The story gets better. So, I approach her the next morning, and she's driving her fucking, Mercedes SL fucking 580 or whatever the hell it is, right? She's highfalutin. I mean, these people she's raking in fucking bank.
Yeah,
right?
she ain't fucking around.
No, she's raking in close to $1 million a year probably.
I need to change careers.
I go in. No,
Get crooked.
You don't want that, man.
Get crooked. Yeah, that's about it.
Being crooked, making money is not the way to do
Yeah,
it.
look, I've been there. There's a reason I didn't go back into finance when I moved to the
Yeah.
States, but continue, buddy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So anyways,
Sorry, I
I
didn't mean
go and
to
approach
derail.
her. She goes, "That wasn't me."
With the prints going right to the door, I'm sure.
Yeah. Off the sidewalk, across, back on the sidewalk into the front door. It wasn't me. You can look at her heels and go, "There's fucking cement on them." Wouldn't pay for it.
We have talked before, even though.
So-
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I don't mean to step on you.
No, it's all right. No, it happens, buddy. We're actually off topic for a minute. We're doing surprisingly well since it's usually just you and me. It's actually pretty easy with a third person. I thought it was going to be clunky
I love
as
this.
shit, but it's
Oh, no,
okay.
I love this.
It's been all right. Yeah, I was
No.
worried it was going to be clunky. It's
I'm
okay.
gonna tell you, you guys got good questions. You're good interviewers.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no.
thank
I mean,
you.
your questions are like, kind of what you brought up to me. You said, "Hey, be prepared for whatever." I was like, okay. So I thought about it a bit, but like, yeah, those are good in-depth questions.
We
that
wanted
I could,
we wanted your perspective.
well,
I'll give
legitimately.
I'll give you a fourth wall break. All right. So Jason designs the outlines for the episodes. I do all the editing, all the back end, all the website, all the emails, stuff like that. I'm the tech head,
yeah.
right? So I'm looking at his screen.
Right.
I'm looking at this outline. So it kind of works pretty good.
It helps.
For the first guest, this is,
yeah, no, I'm happy 1,000's gone for the first guest. Yeah,
I appreciate you being here.
yeah,
Oh, no.
we're pretty,
No.
we're real happy about it, man. That's fucking fantastic.
No, I mean, I was a little nervous in the beginning,
I could tell.
All right,
I could tell. Yeah. I can tell.
perfect.
but I mean, that's to me, it's like there's people out there that impersonate.
Oh, certainly
They pretend.
This is who I want you to think I am.
And I know somebody right off the top of my head, and you know who I'm
We
talking
know a
about.
few people, but once I know exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
you mean. Yeah, God love them.
So if you go through life just being yourself, and if you're not a good person and being yourself is not a good person, fuck you. It's too bad.
Right.
But I just go through it because if you're living a lie, it's hard to be just natural. Does that make sense?
It is you try to keep up the lie,
Right.
and then you overcompensate.
And
And
you're,
then
Oh
you're
my
always trying
God,
to, and you're always
everything.
trying to remember.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
When what you bring up is perfect, man. This gets down to the core of our podcast here.
Yeah.
Be honest in your career, even when you fuck up.
Right.
because then at least you don't have to remember your lie or your bullshit or whatever. Better for people to know where you stand, and you never have to forget what you told people that was not true. Like,
And
it's so much easier.
so much easier. Right?
I don't think people understand how good it is to fail. Like to fall flat on your face, fail.
Well, you got to take that with by filming. Nobody gets hurt.
So here's the look that I take
or
at.
financial mistake.
Yeah.
Here's what I look at failure is. First attempt in learning.
Sure.
Right.
Oh God, I failed a lot.
You have to fail.
Yeah.
We don't learn from our exploits. We do not learn from our exploits. We learn from our failures.
Yeah. If you're a smart person.
Right.
If you're just a dumbass, no, you're not going to learn from that.
You'll have 4 DUIs and a repoed car and
right.
Shit like that. Yeah,
But you wanted to get divorced 2 times anyway, so what difference?
I've done
but
that.
like the gal that you were working for.
Mary.
Right. No. The
The
stilettos.
the
Stiletto, the one who
CEO.
worked for Emerald Electric.
Yeah,
That one.
yeah. Right.
That lady, yeah.
So
We don't have any lawyers yet in this fucking thing, Doug. Like,
yeah, like we don't need a slander lawsuit.
Electric. Anyways, yeah. So
that might be the first thing we ever block out of this podcast.
yeah.
That might be the first. That might be the first beep in the history of this podcast.
That
Go
might
ahead,
be.
Doug.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that went to hell in a handbasket, and I learned from that, and I paid a lot of debt. And then when I went overseas, I paid off all that debt. I didn't file bankruptcy. I paid it off. $250,000 of debt.
Did that force you into bankruptcy?
It was
No,
contributing
no.
factor, I bet.
No, I did not file bankruptcy.
Oh, I thought you said you
good.
did.
Oh,
No, I did not.
No.
Oh,
Smart.
I was making $190,000 a year.
Oh, fantastic!
You know,
so
so-
you were able just to get rid of that
Yep.
fucking thing.
My Nicole, I gave her money, $12,000 a payday or whatever the fuck it was.
Blessed to the fucking missus, right?
Right. And she'd pay off everybody.
Thank
Nicole,
God
Nicole,
for that.
listen, I've known Nicole a lot of years. She's one of the best, man.
Yeah. She was a
Right.
billing analyst. But anyway, she got us down to 0, which in hindsight, I probably should have filed bankruptcy. I'd have bank now. But so that, the last story, and this is just recent, is I did this big remodel for this lady, and everybody said she was a cuckoo. She was related to that family that but not by blood, but by marriage.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And
Fun distinction.
We all have crazies
yeah,
in the
yeah.
family.
I got Irish too, man. Go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. So
Scottish.
everything went well. Everything went great. Refinished her floors, all oak. I put paper down, pulled the tape up, pulled some of the finish off, and I'm like, "Fuck, I gotta patch that." So
You have to
I
fix
went.
it,
I
right?
went in to patch it. She's like, "No, not good enough, not good enough." I'm like, "Look, lady." This is after like the 3rd time. I'm like, "Look, lady, I'll refinish your whole fucking floor. If that's not what you like, if that's not good enough for you, I'll refinish the whole floor and on my dime. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You've never done hardwood floors before, and that's not true. I've done tens of thousands of square foot of hardwood floor. I don't do them anymore because it's hard. I mean, it is really hard on your body."
Right.
So she's like, no. So I'm like, all right, fucking peace out, man. Get the fuck out of my house. I'm like, fuck, dude, whatever. Right. I'm almost done with this project. And the floor is like the last thing to do. Right. And so anyways, she owed a bunch of money on countertops. So I took her to court, paid for the countertops that you owe on. Right. She had somebody come in and refinish the floor, cost her whatever. She had this big long list. I owed her fucking $8,000 for all this, heartache and whatever. Fucking went to court. And this was last March, I think. Yeah, last March. And she sent me, I didn't know this at the time. She sent me she sent the court a big long appendix schedule, like fucking 400 appendixes, right? Pictures and this and that and text messages and blah, 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 email, blah, blah, blah. Whatever.
What the fuck?
Oh, Doug said she was half a kook. He was warned,
Yeah.
right? Sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they were right. Whoever warned you.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, I got nothing to hide. This goes back to the whole thing about being straight up.
Right.
Straight up. I got nothing to hide. So we go to court and the judge goes, "Did you see these documents?" I'm like, "Nope." He goes, "Do you want to postpone and to review the documents?" I'm like, "Nope. What I have to say right here, right now, is what I stand on. And that's the way it is. I don't
Right.
need to see her documents or nothing, because straight up dude, all the time, don't imitate, don't fucking
Right.
impersonate.
Don't be fake.
Don't be a fake.
Right.
This is it. I stand by my work. I stand by everything. And fucking Judge seen it that way. Fucking right. He split it right down the middle.
Nice.
No way.
Yep.
Man,
Really?
you love to hear about a good story once in a while,
You
don't
know,
you?
I had to pay.
Right.
Great.
You had a loss. You didn't really have a pay.
Yeah, I had a loss.
Right?
I had a loss, but
You had a loss.
you know what? I can't emphasize enough about being straight up, being yourself, being honest, hardworking, knowledgeable. All that shit comes into play. And like I said, I've been in this business 25 years. It's like, I don't know, man. It's just, I
can't think of a better way to sum it up.
Right. Fan-fucking-tastic.
Right?
boom.
Yeah, cheers, buddy. I can't think of a better way to sum up what we wanted to get out of Doug today.
Be square. Be square, be real, be honest.
Right.
Be
Right.
fucking man.
And
Jesus.
get up in the morning with the intent of going to work and doing a good job with a good attitude.
Yep.
And give somebody a compliment.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways that I got.
Really?
here.
Right.
Because I don't.
Oh God, dude,
I
it's
don't.
so easy, man.
I'll be honest
So
with you.
easy.
Is I don't wake up. Now, I'm going to be polite to people, but I don't give people
Right.
enough
I
compliments.
know I completely agree with Doug on this one, though. I actively kind of like look for stuff like that. If I see something even that's a little different about them, like just a lady this week had those purple streaks in the bottom of whatever her hair was. Like, oh, geez, your hair looks really nice.
Right,
That lady
right,
didn't
right.
get all offended because I
No.
offended her sexuality.
She did it for a
she was
reason.
like, hey, thanks. Like,
Yep, she
Right.
did.
yeah,
She wanted the compliment, right?
Yep.
yeah, no,
I do that with my wife.
Oh, sure.
that's different.
That's different.
That's
But
different.
no. That's a great point. Great takeaway. I want everybody to understand that, Doug, if you're interested, where can people get a hold of you at?
Oh,
do you
no.
have socials or anything like that?
Do you have socials?
I
Rudy?
do not.
You
I,
don't?
I
Okay.
have Facebook. I don't use it.
Okay.
It's not a good platform.
I'll-
I'm on LinkedIn. If you can.
I'll work with you. Give you your
What?
LinkedIn. What's your LinkedIn?
Yeah, what's your LinkedIn?
I don't know.
We're
All right,
going to
what's
get that
the-
from Doug after
what-
the fact. We'll put it up if he wants us to.
What's the name of your business, Doug?
Doug Luebke Remodeling.
Doug, say that a little
Doug
slower.
Luebke Remodeling.
Luebke.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would love to say, hey, call me. This is my email. This is whatever. But God, dude, I'm.
You got the work you got,
You know
right?
what?
Yeah, that's
You're
okay.
staying busy, and that's
Yeah.
fucking fantastic.
We're
I-
happy. That's good
I mean,
to hear. Yeah.
It's what our motto, Semper Fidelis.
Our
Our motto? Our motto.
Motto. So I decided I didn't run this by John. I'm sure he's
It's-
going to be okay
I'm
with it.
totally
all right?
fine with it. Doug,
Semper-
shoot out our mottos.
Semper Gumby.
That's right, Semper Gumby.
Semper Gumby.
I said Semper-
Oh, that's a cartoon.
I
Gumby.
said
No,
Semper Fi earlier. I'm good.
You know what Semper Fi means? Is Semper is always.
So
It's the Marine Corps motto is Semper Fidelis, which is always faithful. But we always used to say in the Marine Corps, Semper Gumby, always flexible.
always flex. So you're saying Semper Fidelis.
Yep.
What does Semper Fi come from?
It's just a shortened up version, right?
Semper Fi is a shortened up version of Semper Fidelis. Yeah.
Okay.
Little rolls off the tongue better,
Yeah,
maybe.
if you're talking to a fellow Marine,
Yep.
you say, hey, Semper Fi, dude, man. He'd understand that.
Okay.
But most people don't know what Semper Fidelis means.
yeah.
It's
all
like,
right.
Right. I would never, ever claim to have been in the military because obviously I wasn't as a Canadian, right? I actually never feel bad now knowing what it meant these last number of years. If I meet somebody who's a Marine, I'll say Semper Fi to them.
good for you, man. Yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh, sure.
Because
Sure,
if
sure.
that person was to say, "Oh, if they started asking me questions, who were you with? No, I was never in, but I appreciate what you did, and I believe in the always faithful
Yep.
too, so I don't mind saying it."
Yep.
Yep. I've learned over the years that one's okay,
Yeah. You can say, hey, one of my buddies is a
and I
Marine.
usually do.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
appreciate Marines, and I'm friends with some Marines, and I get you, man. Thanks for
Oh,
always being
they
faithful.
appreciate.
Like,
Yeah, they
right,
appreciate
yeah.
the shit out of that.
And I think that spans further, and coming from a civilian.
Yep.
Right. Is being able to use that and being able to understand that always faithful side of things. Now, as a Marine, when you're talking always faithful, you're talking as your platoon, as your country, as the oath that you take,
As your person.
right?
Yeah, be faithful to your person. Your
Right.
person. Yeah.
And as a civilian, we can also translate that into your home, your family,
Yep.
your friends.
Yeah.
We could all learn a lot.
We can all learn a lot.
Yeah,
we can always
if
take
you can't be faithful to your family and friends, then you either need
fuck
to
off and
change
die.
or you need to have different friends that, aren't faithful either.
And even on the
Right,
times where
right.
sometimes you and your friends find your way apart from one another, you have disagreements about shit. Man, give that shit up. Doug and I can speak to it personally.
I was just gonna say that.
if they're
Don't-
friends,
If you get cross with your friend about something, and there's some sort of disagreement, y'all have a falling out, squash that shit fucking right away.
Yep.
Don't
Yep.
man, don't waste no years.
You're
Don't-
too old for
Don't
that
waste
shit.
no years of your life with bullshit.
Yeah,
Right?
Don't let it fester.
It goes back to the saying that I have is I stopped taking friend applications in high school.
Right, yeah. Life's too fucking short, right?
It's too short.
That's a good point.
But what I was going to put you on the spot was I decided that we're going to end any episode that does have a guest. And thank you one last time, Doug. Cheers for being our first guest on the I Share Afterward podcast, buddy.
I made
fan-
fucking history,
That's
man.
fantastic, man.
Slancha.
History, man. Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
I'm going to get all the guests to give what we always end every single podcast with, which is our motto.
Yep.
And the last thing we're going to say on this, and thanks again, this is, I think, Doug Luebke Chronicle episode 1. We're going to have Doug back, right? Like,
And I want everybody to hit us up though.
Yeah.
I want everybody to hit us up on our socials. We need a I Saw Podcast.
Right.
At I Saw Podcast on Instagram. We want to have everybody come into our website at isawpodcast.com, get signed up for the email newsletter, and the new text message wave.
listen, kids, get a pen.
This is fantastic.
507-607 ISAW.
Yep.
You can send us text messages about anything you want, photo, video, text, whatever you want. 507-607 ISAW. Hit us up right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
text in questions. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
for
do.
sure.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Text in everything that you want. We're going to be sending out text message strings and stuff like that too. But and then just hit us up. Let us know everything that you got going on. If you got questions for Doug, maybe we'll have him back on.
I
Have
would,
him hang
I
out.
would love to have a regular episode where Doug answers
Be like,
questions for
"What
you
the
guys.
fuck, Doug?"
I would love to.
So what do you do in this particular case? And the more vague or the more real specific they are, the funnier it'll be for people in construction. So that'll be all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you don't mind, Doug, thanks again for being here, and please give us everybody the motto.
For sure.
Is that sweet equity?
No,
It's that sweat equity.
that was a note for me earlier for some social media stuff. The
Oh,
one in the
shit.
quotes, Doug. The one
Sweet.
in the quotes in the big letters.
Sweat equity.
Right.
I'm in there.
Our motto would be
Sweat equity.
now. What's the
No,
big
no.
letters there, buddy?
Big letters in the quote.
I don't have my thought. Remember, your work keeps the world working.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It couldn't be
Fuck.
better that it was sort of fucked up on our first
try to say
step,
that
right?
into the microphone.
Try
What?
once more into the microphone.
Remember, your work keeps my world working. Me world working.
The world
The-
working.
The world.
One-
Does that
one-
look like the?
It does look like that, but it does look like me. What the
All right,
fuck, dude?
all
You
right.
got
One
some
last
switches
time,
right.
okay. Now that you've got it, Doug, your work keeps the world working.
Your work keeps the world working.
Close enough for me.
That is the I Saw motto, man. For sure.
Thanks everybody, and
I'm sorry.
be safe
No,
out there
that's
this
all right.
week. Episode 1 with Doug. Many more to come. I'm hoping.
I hope so.
All right. Thanks everybody for listening, and be safe out there.
Slanza.
Oh.
Fucking perfect, man.
That was fucking